Hi, welcome to Bruce's Garage. I'm Bruce and this is my garage. Are you trying to keep your car fabric and carpet looking brand new? Do you have little kids that maybe spill stuff all over your car? Or have you been eating on the go and spilled something onto your seats and now you've got some stains? Well, then you're going to want to watch today's video to learn how to protect the carpet and fabric in your car and keeping it looking new. So come on in and let's have some fun. Welcome to the garage. Accidents happen, right? But with the right protection, you can easily prevent stains and spills from ruining your car's interior. Whether you have kids, pets, or just want to preserve the look of your car, investing in fabric protection can really make a difference, and it's a real smart choice. Similar to protecting the painted surfaces on the car, you also want to protect those soft surfaces on the interior, especially from spills and stains. Using a quality fabric protector, and I gotta emphasize quality, can really help repel liquids and keep stains away. It's important that these fabric protectors essentially provide a barrier similar to what we've talked about in one of my previous videos around ceramic coating. It protects a barrier on the paint. Well, likewise, on the fabric, you want this barrier that's repelling liquids so that you've got time to quickly wipe it up before that absorbs into the fibers and then stains that fabric or the carpet. Today we're going to be using a couple different products by Gtechniq. And Gtechniq is a professional detailing product company out of the United Kingdom, and they really got some great products. And I haven't used these Gtechniq products before, but I think you're gonna find them very interesting. And it's really important. I wanna emphasize again that the quality fabric protector is important because you can go to any store pretty much today and find fabric protector. And so you don't wanna cheap out on this. But remember, you're trying to protect your valuable asset and keep it looking new. So join me as we get into really how we're going to protect the fabric, walk you through that step by step. We're gonna do it, and then we're gonna let that cure, and then we're gonna test it and see how well it repels. So let's start briefly just with how fabric protection works. So fabric protection penetrates and encapsulates, so it surrounds the fibers in the fabric itself, and it's a layer of protection that prevents liquids from absorbing into those fibers. And there's really what I like to think of 3 steps that we're going to use to fabric protection. So step number 1 is let's get any dirt and dust that's on the fabric, let's get that off. And that starts with a good vacuuming. So we'll do that. We'll vacuum the seats, we'll vacuum the carpet, and I'm only gonna actually protect the seats today, but we're gonna vacuum all of that. By the way, if you haven't watched my video on how to vacuum like a pro, please do, because that will give you a lot more info about vacuuming the inside of your vehicle and the best ways to do that. So the first thing we're going to use today is a product by Gtechniq called Tri-Clean. Now the cool thing with Tri-Clean, it's an interior cleaner, and we're going to apply this on the fabric. And one cool thing that I really like about Tri-Clean is that it's antimicrobial, so it kills 99.9% of the bacteria. So while you're doing this, you're also disinfecting the interior of the surface. This is a pretty simple product to use. We basically just spray it onto a wet microfiber towel, and then we thoroughly wipe the surface that we're going to protect, and we allow that to super dry, because it has to be really dry before you can apply the fabric protection. So step 1, we vacuum. Step 2 is we're gonna use Tri-Clean and clean the surface that we're gonna protect. Then we're gonna follow that up with Gtechniq Smart Fabric. This is version 3 of the Smart Fabric. I'll walk you through the application process of Smart Fabric in just a few minutes when we actually apply it. These products, by the way, of Gtechniq, I'm going to tell you right now that, and I will have links in the show description to these products, and you can check out the products at Car Supplies Warehouse in Chicago. They're a great company. This is not sponsored by them. It's not sponsored by Gtechniq. Purchased all this on my own. But Car Supplies Warehouse is really a great spot to purchase your detailing supplies. Anyway, let's just get right to it and start applying the protection. Before we apply any fabric protectant or even begin to really clean the fabric surface before the fabric protectant is applied, we have to make sure this surface is clean of any debris. I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but there is some hair and some crumbs on the seat. So the first thing we're going to do with any fabric surface is we're going to vacuum this out and get all of that visible debris out of the way, and then we're going to apply some fabric cleaner and allow that to dry thoroughly before we apply the fabric protectant. So first thing here is we're going to clean the surface just by vacuuming. And so we're going to use both their Tri-Clean product and their fabric product. So this is Tri-Clean. Make sure all the surfaces are covered. All right, so I'm going to let this dry, but while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and clean the seat back, and then I'm going to repeat this process for all the fabric seats in the vehicle. I'm going to allow that to dry overnight before we apply the fabric protection. All right, so now that we have vacuumed the inside, the seats, we have used the Tri-Clean cleaner to clean the surface that we're going to protect. Our next step is to apply Gtechniq Smart Fabric. The application process is pretty simple. Basically, you shake the bottle and then you spray about 6 to 8 inches away from the surface and you saturate the surface, and then you can actually rub it in with your gloved hand. Now, a couple precautions. Number 1, wear gloves. Number 2, if you're doing this in an enclosed area, you're going to want to wear some type of respiratory protection. I am going to be putting on a respirator because I'm inside the garage and I'm also inside the vehicle. But again, I'm following the manufacturer's recommendations, which essentially are shake well, wear gloves, use out of direct sunlight, make sure the fabric is clean, completely dry, apply in a well ventilated area at temperatures above 5 degrees Celsius, thoroughly soak the fabric and allow to dry. If you do overspray this on other surfaces, you got to wipe it up immediately because otherwise it's going to stick and you don't want to do that. And then store this in a cool, dry place. This will last for 12 months in the bottle. So once you open it, you've got 12 months to use it. So we're going to go ahead and apply this to one of the seats here, and I will show you that. I am going to put on my respirator. Okay, we're going to shake the Smart Fabric, and then I'm going to spray, thoroughly soaking the surface. Okay, so now we're going to apply the fabric protectant to the seat back. Then shake the bottle, spray a liberal amount here. All right, so I want to give you guys just a little bit of first impression after I've applied it to the fabric. First thing is the wearing respiratory protection, particularly if you're inside, is a must. So I had a respirator on. The garage smelled pretty potent, as did the vehicle. Not a bad smell, but a chemical smell that, was irritating. You probably could get away with doing this outdoors with a little bit of wind and keeping the doors open. But even in the garage with the respirator on, I'm fine. But as soon as I took that respirator off in the closed garage, it was overpowering in the garage itself. I opened the back garage door here so that I could get some ventilation. Now I honestly don't smell it, but I had to get that ventilation. So please protect yourself if you're in any enclosed space and wear the proper protection. Now, it went on just fine. I did spray it fairly liberally. Again, the instructions say to saturate the surface. You can only do one coat because once it's applied, of course, it's going to resist anything else being applied to it. All right, it has been 24 hours since we applied the fabric protectant to the seats. A couple observations. Number one, seats look great. They've probably never been cleaner, so that's a great thing. I think the Tri-Clean did a great job, the fabric protectant, and you know, both of those are antimicrobial, and the fabric protectant also prevents mold and mildew, which is another distinct advantage rather than just around water repellency, is you're also preventing any buildup of mold and mildew. So I've got just a regular bottle of water here and brand new, and I'm just gonna dump some on this seat and you and I are gonna see what happens together. I hope you can see that. This is pretty darn impressive. I don't see really anything soaking in, maybe a little bit here. I'm gonna wipe up now and just see what that looks like. Wow, I would say that is pretty darn good. You know, I may have not gotten these two spots as well as I should have, because the water really repelled well from those other spots. Now it feels a little damp, not much. I mean, there is definitely more dampness here, so I'm thinking I didn't apply enough. Other than that, I'm pretty darn impressed with how well that water repelled. From everything I've read, from certainly what the vendor says, you get 6 to 12 months of protection on that fabric. So pretty darn good. Pretty impressed. All right, so what did we learn from this fabric protection? So I want to share with you a few thoughts I have. Number one, Gtechniq. I have not used their products before, but I've heard just tons of positive things about them. So I'm glad I finally got to try two of their products, both Tri-Clean and the fabric protectant. I think both are outstanding products. I'll tell you, Gtechniq is not cheap. I think those bottles were 500 ml bottles, or somewhere in the $40 range. Put links in the show notes or the description so that you can take a look at those. I do think the fabric protection is an area that I would not go cheap. I think most importantly is get a fabric protectant that works for you, that you're comfortable with, but protect the fabric in your vehicle. I just think it's gonna help preserve the value of your car. What a great way to protect it. Couple videos you might want to check out. Vacuuming like a pro. If you are interested in other types of protection, the surprising truths about ceramic coating is another video of mine that you might find valuable as well. I appreciate a like and subscribe, and I really do appreciate your time, and I really do appreciate you coming to Bruce's Garage, and I hope you have a wonderful day.